a foundation that hopes to be a beacon of suicide prevention help in Middle Tennessee, to raise awareness, provide resources, and ensure no family ever has to walk this path alone. That is Jacob Strong 615. Welcome to Mornings on Main Street. I'm your host, Stephanie Miller. Jacob's family shares with us how his memory lives on and what they hope this foundation will do for other teens. But first, let's get a check of our headlines. The 2nd Infantry Brigade combat team of the 101st Airborne Division will redeploy as scheduled to their Kentucky-based home unit without replacement. This is the Secretary of War's deliberate process to ensure a balanced U.S. military force posture. The NATO allies are meeting President Donald Trump's call to take primary responsibility for the conventional defense of Europe. The Community Health Systems, Inc. is selling ownership interest of its Clarksville Hospital to Nova Healthcare to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. Subsidiaries of the company have entered into a definitive agreement to sell their 80% ownership interest in 2 joint moves. VUMC currently holds a minority ownership interest in these joint ventures and will purchase the remaining ownership through this transaction. Meet master craftsman Alf Sharp through the feature article by Ken Beck, found at MainStreetMedia, TN.com. It's setting the table. Cannon County woodmaster Alf Sharp creates some masterpieces. Learn how Sharp became a self-taught furniture maker and master craftsman. His craft has led to his handiworks being featured at the Hermitage, Traveler's Rest, the Tennessee State Capitol, and Oakland's Mansion, along with other places. Read this story and many others by visiting MainStreetMedia, TN.com.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather update.
Well, a beautiful Monday on tap. Yesterday was pretty cool, and today will be pretty cool too, but more mild, right? I do think that's the word. It's going to be a little warmer than yesterday. Take a look here. No clouds across the area. Beautiful Monday on tap. Lower 60s for pretty much all of Middle Tennessee will be the story. Through tonight, clear skies, good stargazing conditions, but keep that coat on hand because we will be getting back down to the 40s out there. Not expecting much lower than that, though. Of course, last night we saw some 30s. I think we're about done with that for the next few nights. A few scattered showers by the end of the week notwithstanding, I honestly think this work week, this first full work week of November, looks fantastic with those upper 60s, lower 70s, Tuesday into Wednesday especially. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a little more mild, more spring-like, especially for this time of year, as we head over the next 3 to 4 days.
If you want the latest in weather conditions, be sure to tune in to our Busy Bee Plumbing Weather Report each weekday on Mornings on Main Street. Brought to you, of course, by Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. We will keep you updated on the latest conditions outside, like severe weather, heat, snow, rain, and even hail.
This holiday season, the largest lantern festival in the country returns to Nashville Zoo. Experience more than 1,000 all-new handcrafted lanterns, towering creatures, magical worlds, and a North Pole village. At the center of it all, the Smashville Ice Rink. Welcome back to Zoolumination at Nashville Zoo. Bigger, brighter, and better than ever.
Mental health is something that is being addressed around the world with teens and adolescents. And we have one family here that's using their pain to help others. And they have created Jacob Strong 615, and it's based out of Rutherford County. We have Joanne, Steve, and Lane Marsh. Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
Their son, Jacob, left Earth at 16 years of age in 2023. And since then, you've created Jacob Strong 615.
Yep.
As hard as it is to create something of this magnitude to help others, why do it?
We feel like we have to be a beacon of hope for others and find a way to help other families not go through what we went through.
It's our new purpose.
It is our new purpose.
Yeah.
When Jacob was alive, he was, he and Lane were my purpose. Our family, that was my purpose. So when we lost him, we knew pretty immediately we had to do something.
Yeah.
We had to do something to not only fill that void for us, but to help others not go through what we went through. And that was very difficult, but I mean, it was probably a few weeks after we lost him, we knew we had to do something. And then I had never been around anybody that took their life. And now my eyes are open and it's all over the place.
Yeah.
So if I was like that, there are other parents that were like that. So that's where we have to just open up our eyes and have dialogue and conversation.
Dialogue and conversation is something that can be hard to have at times, especially
Sure.
if you don't recognize those signs. Again, you've been sharing how lively and what Jacob was like. What were those signs now that you, as you're looking back, that may help another parent or another guardian?
I mean, he would go in his room and be quiet, you know, for hours, and he'd sleep a lot.
Slept a lot.
We feel like, I mean, I slept a lot as a teen, so you don't really think about that. Just I remember for his birthday, we were out of town, and he was excited, and he loved music, and he wanted to start mixing music, and so we were looking at buying him some studio stuff, and then all of a sudden it was like, I don't want anything for my birthday.
Disconnected at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, very distant. Quiet. He was not quiet. And there were times where he was, you know, in hindsight, fighting his own battles. And on the surface, the things that you see, you know, you can't take for granted. A little phrase that we kind of stole was, don't be afraid to invade. So sometimes you have to invade their privacy. You want to give them, you know, maturity. You want to let them grow on their own, but at the same time, you know, in hindsight, I would have absolutely invaded.
Yeah.
After all of these months, as a sibling, what can we do as a sibling? Or how can
It's a
we
lot.
start that conversation?
How to start that conversation. So I think you have to first identify what's going on with your sibling, which is the hardest part to do, which is what we're trying to raise education and awareness about. In hindsight, there were a couple conversations I had with him where he just really didn't know what he wanted to do after high school or move forward, and I don't think he was seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So I think once you can identify that, it needs to be, I mean, kind of you have to invade his privacy a little bit. You need to be very direct and with your sibling and say, you know, I can tell something's wrong with you. What is wrong? And you kind of just need to keep on putting your foot in that door until they finally listen to you.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I think that's very well said.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable, and you have to be very direct, but it's better than the alternative.
From what you've learned and as you've talked with others, friends are often, you know, that peer group is that support and the people who see, you know, that person more often, you know, than not.
Yeah.
Where do they turn if they think that there might be, or in your minds, you know, if they think their friend may have an issue or something's going on?
Yeah.
How do they best address that, either with that friend, or would you say turn to the parents?
I would say turn to the
I would
parents.
say both.
Both.
And and just address it with that friend. The problem is that they don't want to
Tell on
them or not keep their trust, or, you know, feel like they're tattling or whatever it is, however you want to word it. But that's a very fine line for, I think, friends, right?
It's a lot for teenagers to endure.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out where they fit in, and now this is a different scenario, and they don't know exactly what to do. And that's where we would like to open up that conversation. Hey, it's okay to make your buddy mad. It's okay to make your friend mad if you're saving his life or her life, you know.
What can be found on the site, Jacob Strong 615, when we get to that site? What is there and available?
So there's a lot of information about kind of what we hope to do, our mission. There are
Warning signs.
just statistics, you know, if parents, you know, have concerns and they just want to learn a little bit more about it. And that, I mean, there's a lot of good information on there. There's also a couple links to therapists, just a couple local ones, and there's a link to Psychology Today, I think it's called, where you can find multiple therapists. And one of the things that we're doing with our funding is trying to help families pay for therapy, because It's expensive.
It's expensive, and most
And
insurances
insurance
don't
don't
cover
cover it.
Yeah, and that's something else that we want to address on a bigger scale. Mental health is just as important as physical health. So how is it that you can't insure someone to get the help that they need? So that's another area that we want to tackle at some point, and that's why we offered the help, because when we were going through this, we didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
And then it took us, I worked for a great company, and they set us up with someone, and it took, 5, 6, 7 days after we started the ball rolling to even find somebody that
Yeah.
would see us. So
Yeah.
What is the best way for a parent to fight to get that session with a mental health professional for their child? What is the best way to fight for that child?
I
to
mean,
do
I
that?
think I don't think you give the child the option, because we did give Jacob an option. And he would get to a point where he was like, yeah, I want to go see somebody, talk to somebody, and then he would
sleep on it.
sleep on it and wake up the next day and he'd be really happy, and he'd be like, no, I'm good. And I just think as parents, we probably should have put our foot down
We should have put a foot down.
and made him go to see someone. But his big hang up was, if I go see a therapist, they're going to put me on medication. And he, for whatever reason, he didn't want to take Advil. He didn't want to take any medication.
Anything that altered
He
his
just was,
brain.
I don't know what it was, if he'd read things on social media, who
Stubborn.
knows. He was stubborn. But like and you don't know what other kids are thinking as far as that goes. So I would say, as a parent, don't give them that option. Just schedule it and take them.
On the financial end of it, though, is for the families, that find themselves in the position that you guys
Reach
are
out
like-
to us.
Okay.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely. That's why we raised the money that we raised, that we don't, we haven't got it all figured out on how to spend and allocate our money, but the goal is to help as many kids as possible.
Yeah.
And if we can just help one get through therapy and help themselves, then we're 100% behind that. We would.
Yeah, yeah.
And that website is jacobstrong615.org. Again, jacobstrong615.org. Is this open outside of families here in Rutherford
Yes.
County?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We'd love to help anybody that we can. Now, it's a little bit harder logistically because we do have some connections with therapists here, but
Yeah.
nobody's without help. Nobody has to do this alone.
As many as we can reach. Yeah.
What do you want everyone to remember about Jacob, those who come through this and who, are blessed to be able to have you and this site available to
How
help
strong
them?
he was.
Yeah.
Keep fighting. Yep.
And
He was,
goofy.
Yeah.
Super goofy.
Full life. This world is not the same place without him. So we have to try to make it better. And he was a good boy.
My last question for families who are experiencing what you all are experiencing. How can we as friends, as a community, how can we best support those families in this time?
Speak up.
Yeah. Open dialogue.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to ask how someone's doing. Talk about him. We love talking about Jacob.
Yeah.
We tell stories to each other about him all the time. Teachers do. I mean, we love to hear about him. It's hard, but speaking up about it.
Speak up and show up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Be there. Be present.
Yep.
A lot of times parents, fall into that trap. They're busy and they're doing the best that they can. Would they change the way that they do things if they saw these signs? If they were to, put themselves in our shoes somewhat, would they change the way they did things? And I can answer for us, we would have. We would have done some things differently for sure. And we thought that we were doing a good job, And I mean, I still think that we did. But the outcome is obviously not what anybody wants.
For the friends that, Jacob did leave behind, how can we support friends in that position?
So 3 of them work for me. So
Wow.
yeah, so they've been working for me for a couple of years now, and
They're involved with our nonprofit.
they
show up to
come
our
and
events.
volunteer.
Yeah.
Should parents make sure they're, checking in on those friends, right? I mean,
Yeah.
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 We communicate with the parents.
one of his friends' dad. We talk, and if I ever see something that seems out of pocket or unusual, I just text him. And because it may be nothing, but I want him to have the information to be able to talk to his son.
Yeah. And sibling-wise, would you say the same?
Exactly the same, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob Strong, 615, working to help so many others not be in this position. And also, I think that you guys might have the best hashtag ever, don't be afraid to invade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jacob,
and it's okay to not be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what another part of it is, just making sure that
It's okay.
we all struggle mentally at some point. And that's okay. And it's okay if you're not having a good day.
There's just a stigma around
A huge
mental
stigma.
health.
It seems to be more, I'm from Tennessee, but it seems to be more of a southern thing. I feel like some areas of the country have a better understanding or better, grip on mental health. And I think that we need to really push to make sure that everybody sees that that's just as important as your physical health. Yeah.
do you think that we are working our way in that direction?
I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's getting better.
It's getting better even since we started this. You can see there's more, avenues. There's more things for kids and families. So we just want to be part of that. And if we can help in any way, that's what we want to do.
Well, you're definitely opening up that conversation, and for those to be maybe a bit more comfortable in having those conversations and addressing. So Jacob Strong, 615. Suicide prevention help. The information is right there at your fingertips by going to that website, jacobstrong615.org. I cannot thank Joanne, Steve, and Lane enough for just sharing Jacob with us and sharing, how you're working to help others. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stick with us. We'll be right back.
He shoots, and he scores!
Busy bee, yeah, busy bee. If you need
Hold on, y'all, hold on. I need to make a call. Hey, this is Brianna with Busy Bee. I'm giving you a call to let you know your technician is on his way.
833.
Guys, not yet. Not yet.
Busy bee, oh,
Now I'm
busy
ready,
bee.
guys.
Call 775-7833.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. For other episodes of Mornings on Main Street, please head over to YouTube and look for Mornings on Main Street. Have a great day.